What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So now that E3 has been officially canceled, we're mostly looking around for information as to what events we can look forward to over the summer. Well, we did get one live event that was announced from Nintendo, and it's not exactly what people are expecting with the potential E3 replacement. We'll go over that here today. Also, we are going to be talking about Sony and a newly announced state of play that will be focusing on one specific title. And we'll also be taking a look at a big-time sale that's going on. This, though, for the collector, as it has to do with physical copies of games. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out a ton. And if new here to the Spawnwave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And we're going to start today with the potential successor, yes, to the Nintendo Switch. At least some speculation around one title that could be heading to Nintendo's next platform. Now, this was discovered on YouTube from DocTray81, and we can see his video here showing a post over on LinkedIn. And originally, he did a video a while ago about this new Dune game that was based on the Dune intellectual property. That was before it was announced at Gamescom last year as Dune Awakening. We then saw more information during the Game Awards with Jeff Keighley. But now, things have changed when it comes to the job posting, where originally it had talked about PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Switch. Now, instead of Switch, it says TBA or to be announced, which obviously, now people are looking to that as being a placeholder for whatever Nintendo calls their next platform. If we're all to assume that Nintendo is going to launch, or at the very least, announce this next platform in 2024, yeah, games would be in development right now for it. It takes a while to make a game, as we all have realized more and more, especially since the last 7 or 8 years, with some games taking an entire generation to make. So, yeah, I have a feeling those games are currently in development to prepare for Nintendo's launch of what's going to be a very, very anticipated release. But interesting to see Dune Awakening maybe prepping for that system. We're still trying to figure out when the game's coming out, as they're still talking about beta signups and other things towards the end of 2023, but I guess we'll keep an eye on this posting to see if it changes to whatever Nintendo reveals their next system to be. Also, we do have an update for Media Molecule and Dreams, which has basically been a game engine they put out there, and people have made some very impressive things with it. Some got a little too close to Nintendo, and I didn't seem to like that very much. Basically, people have made things like entire Sonic games in Dreams, Mario, you name it, it's probably been created there. But it looks like Media Molecule is finally moving on, which we can see this posted up over on their website for Dreams, where they say, as we continue to evaluate and evolve our priorities for the studio in Dreams, we've made the difficult decision to discontinue live support for Dreams after September 1st, 2023, to shift our focus to an exciting new project. You'll continue to be able to play, create, and share Dreams with others after September, but we won't be releasing any more updates to the game or events such as Dreamscom, All Hallows Dreams, or the Impy Awards. So, to me, this is exciting because while Dreams is a really cool idea, concept, and really game engine for what we've seen, a creation tool, it's not really something I've been that interested in outside of maybe seeing what people can come up with, but I would like to see Media Molecule move on to something that feels more like a game. They did a pretty good job disguising the creation tools in something like Little Big Planet, so maybe they can take what they've learned from Dreams and apply it to their next big project moving forward. We'll see. If they're really shifting focus now, I assume they're starting to really ramp up production and development for whatever's next. But I'm just hoping it's not necessarily Dreams 2, more in line with something more like a game with Little Big Planet. Oh, and we did have Phil Spencer unveil another shelf yesterday, which people look to see any hints and teases, because they did announce that Xbox PC Game Pass will be heading to 40 different countries that it was not originally available to, at least not outside of like a beta program that they were running. But those countries are available now, so check that out if you were originally in one of those countries that wasn't supporting this. But as part of this, of course, Phil Spencer went on camera with a shelf, and at the top, people zoomed in, and it appears Keystone is still there. In fact, it's a little bit of a better look at it, a little IR sensor, IR port on the front there, but it does make me wonder if Keystone is still in somewhat active development. They're just trying to figure out what exactly it's going to be, or the price point, or something there. So interesting stuff to keep tabs on with Phil Spencer's shelf and apparently Keystone. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with an event that Nintendo has now announced for later this year, and it comes from Nintendo America, which is interesting because this event has run 3 or 4 times in the past, but it was in Japan. So this is technically the first time it's made its way to the US and will be run by Nintendo of America. We can see this tweet here where they say, announcing Nintendo Live 2023, an in-person event for fans of all ages that will take place in Seattle this September. Experience Nintendo Switch gameplay, live stage performances, tournaments, photo ops, and more. They have a link to the site for all of this, so if you want to figure out a schedule around it so you can be there in person and enjoy it, check all of that out. But of course, this has led to speculation from people that this will be kind of like a in-person Nintendo Direct. Space World's been brought up, an E3 event, something on that level. But I look at this as strictly a marketing event for Nintendo. Essentially, just gain more exposure for some of these different games, the live performances, all things Nintendo. And to go a little further, Oatmeal Dome did provide some very good context here because, as I mentioned, it has been run several times, in fact, 2018, 2019, and 2022 in Japan. And we have some of the announcements and different things that happened. We can see Oatmeal Dome says October 8th and 9th for Nintendo Live 2022 in Tokyo. There was Splatoon 3 plus Animal Crossing live concerts, Splatoon 3, Smash Ultimate, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Switch Ports tournaments, History of Pokemon panel, Nintendo Everyone's Challenge show, and basically you can see the list goes on and on and on. Nothing in terms of massive internet-breaking announcements, a new game, a new system, hardware, nothing like that. So I wouldn't look at this as a big event for internet-breaking announcements, anything like that. It's just going to be a way for Nintendo to get their intellectual properties and their products in front of more people and turn it into a big celebration, right? Like I said, with live performances, tournaments, and all that. Basically a Nintendo fan fest, if you will, there. So no, I wouldn't look at this as a replacement for E3. I think Nintendo will still have some sort of direct over the summer. Just might not fit into that typical week that we would normally expect it for E3. It could be later in June, could be earlier, could actually be in May even, so there's a lot of possibilities there. But this is just basically a way, again, for them to market some of their products and make a big event out of it. So that's as far as I would really read into this one. Next up, let's talk about a new Sony State of Play that was announced for tomorrow. And this is kind of a strange thing because I don't necessarily know if we need to see more about this game, but let's take a look here. This is over on PlayStation blog, where they say State of Play presents a special look at Final Fantasy 16. Now, the broadcast will start Thursday, April 13th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, and it looks like it's just going to be about 20 minutes or so of gameplay for Final Fantasy 16. And as I mentioned, I don't necessarily know if we need to see more of this because they've already showcased this quite a bit. There was an entire hour-long live stream where Yoshi P sat down at PAX East and had live gameplay and talked to the audience and even answered questions. Some were kind of trolling even on Twitter and had a good time with it. This game is out June 22nd. So I'm trying to think of what else they can show us here outside of all the story trailers we've already had, the gameplay sections. Unless there is something big to reveal to us that we have not at least heard of yet, I guess we're just going to see more of it. And this is essentially Sony making a big final marketing push for a game that, yes, is locked down exclusively to their console. Now, I will say something that would, I think, really excite people, myself included, is if Square Enix continued with this trend that they've been doing for, a while, several titles now. And that's if they announce a demo, because the press got to play a fairly lengthy demo, nothing that was outlandishly long, right? Not like a Dragon Quest 11, where that demo, the 11S demo, was like 10 hours or something. But there was still a good chunk of gameplay to get a feel for Final Fantasy 16. And I think that'd be a really cool idea for Square Enix to drop that after the State of Play ends. Like, hey, you saw 20 minutes of Final Fantasy 16. Now you can start playing it in a demo, and maybe your progress carries over. If not, maybe there's something cool that you unlocked in the full game if you play through the demo and get to the end. Now, I guess the only issue here, and one reason I'm not necessarily all in on the idea of a demo being there tomorrow, is because we're still months out from release. I think if it was maybe the beginning of June, then I'd say, okay, we're close enough to where they might drop a demo and it just gives a couple of weeks lead up. In this case, though, we're still more than 2 months away, and Square might want to hold that as a big time final marketing push to drop that demo, like I said, at the end of May or right at the beginning of June. But it'd just be a lot of fun to have Final Fantasy 16 in some way to play natively on your PS5 after that state of play tomorrow. But we'll keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, though, I guess we're going to tune in for more Final Fantasy 16. And no, I wouldn't really expect anything else. They were pretty clear. This is all about Final Fantasy 16 and about 20 minutes of gameplay. Next up, let's talk about the Steam Deck and some sales data that we now have coming in. I think people have been curious what kind of numbers Valve is doing in terms of units sold for the Steam Deck, because Valve didn't exactly have a very good run with their Steam machines that were just kind of all over the place, and they weren't really focused on one product necessarily. You had a lot of brands come in and basically just make pre-built PCs that just had the Steam logo next to it. But take a look at this. We can see this posted up by tech.informa.com, where they say Steam Deck will surpass 3 million units sold during 2023. According to new research from Omdia, the report, which focuses on the portable gaming PC from Valve Corporation, is the first sizing of the addressable market for the device, and estimates that hardware sales during 2022 reached 1.6 million units, growing 14% to 1.9 million units in 2023. So they do mention it is clear Steam Deck remains a niche portion of the PC gaming landscape. However, this is unlikely to deter Valve, which has plans beyond just selling hardware units, really referring to the fact that every Steam Deck that Valve sells, they can assume that person's then going to be pouring money into their platform, Steam. So it makes sense to create hardware, even if you're not selling tens of millions of units. They obviously have a stranglehold on the PC gaming side, as most people out there prefer to just use Steam as opposed to Epic Game Store or whatever EA has now with Origin, and then you have Ubisoft with their platform. Most people, when they get a new gaming PC, they just install Steam right away and just access their library or start shopping even for the first time, maybe if they got a Steam Deck. Now, I will admit, you look at these numbers, very clear that the Steam Deck is not a Switch killer, quote unquote, although I think that was mostly being run around by just people on Twitter who like to argue back and forth over Steam Deck versus Switch and that sort of thing. However, I do believe this shows a bright future for Valve and sort of their portable PC market. It's just something that works to push their overall ecosystem and platform forward. And I think if you compare it to other handheld PCs in the market, which are kind of scattershot, it's all over the place, I feel like the Steam Deck has a clear advantage across the board because of the upside of Steam, which tells me, yes, Valve will continue to try to push Steam Deck as they go along. And who knows, maybe they'll get it into actual retail stores like a Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and then they continue to push more and more of these out there and once again just get new customers to Steam. As weird as that sounds, there's still plenty of people who are just not into PC gaming, and the Steam Deck seems like a pretty good doorway in. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about a game sale that is currently live, and this is a good one because it actually has to do with physical copies of games. It's not just a sale on the PlayStation Store or the Switch sales and deals or Xbox. While those are great because one, it's convenient, obviously, and two, the discounts can be pretty sizable, this is a way for you to add a new disc or box to your collection or cartridge or anything. So let's take a look at this over on GameFly. And I've had pretty good luck with GameFly. Most times when I order a game, I've ordered several of them now, they do show up complete. Well, as complete as modern gaming will allow it to be because there's no manual in there. Anyway, we can see for the PS5, there's Forspoken, $33. There you go. Like a Dragon Ishin, though, down to $35. God of War Ragnarok, down to $45. Marvel's Midnight Suns at $28. Need for Speed Unbound at $30. Dead Space down to $45. One Piece Odyssey at $28. Moving over to the Nintendo Switch, Harvestella down to $30. Dragon Quest Treasures at $40. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope down to $25. Moving over to the Xbox Series X, Gotham Knights is down to $20. Wow. Wild Hearts at $45. Soul Hackers 2 at $20. Sonic Frontiers at $25. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion at $25. Evil West at $28. PGA Tour 2K23 at $25. Then The Quarry at $18. So quite a few games there that are on sale at GameFly. Physical copies again. And like I said, for the most part, I've had pretty good luck with them. They show up in almost like new condition. They're used, they're rented out, obviously, but I feel like they hold on to the box and the cover art because those usually show up in really good condition. But just thought I'd alert you guys to some of those deals because it is nice to actually see sizable discounts on, again, physical copies of games, since you like trying to own your games, right? And before we go to the comment of the day, we're going to take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I ask, have you picked up a Steam Deck yet? 49% say no, I'm not interested in getting one. 34% say no, but I want to get one at some point. 17% say yes, I ended up getting one. So again, there's still a lot of people that Valve can sell the Steam Deck to, and they haven't gotten into retail stores yet. For a while there, had a reservation that, hey, next year you'll get one, right? Because they were just trying to fill orders, and all these different companies were facing part shortage. But I do believe Valve was very careful with how many they were producing because they probably weren't expecting 10, 15, 20 million to sell or anything. So the fact that they are just now going to be crossing 3 million this year kind of shows the level that the Steam Deck is currently selling at. But still, for Valve, after what happened with their Steam machines, they're probably pretty happy with what they've seen so far with the Steam Deck. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Vice saying, if this Paper Mario thing is real, they'll probably shadow drop it at the Summer Direct, kind of like what they did with Metroid Prime. You know, the Thousand Year Door, because it is a game that's already released, and, well, the core fan base is already familiar with it, yeah, you probably could shadow drop it like they did with Metroid Prime Remastered, and the only thing then is, they get you with the double dip because they'll put the digital copy out and then they'll ship out the physical copy weeks later. That's what happened with Metroid Prime Remastered. But it was nice to be able to play Metroid Prime right away after that Direct. And I would like to see Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony play around with some of these shadow drops a bit more. Hi-Fi Rush, that was awesome. Also, it did go into Game Pass right away. But just having a game ready to roll that's not necessarily a smaller indie title, but like a larger game from one of their premier studios, just drop right away onto the eShop or the Xbox Store or PlayStation Network. That's always exciting, so I'd like to see more of that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Was Nintendo Live 2023 coming to the US for the first time? What do you think about that? And are you going to try to get out there to Seattle for it? And then also, what about Sony's State of Play happening tomorrow? Are you already sold on Final Fantasy 16, or do you have to see more? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.